response to the ongoing drought in California, the state has issued an emergency regulation requiring all water agencies and their customers to increase water conservation. Starting August 1st, Phase 2 of Glendale's mandatory water conservation ordinance went into effect, limiting outside watering to 3 days a week, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, for 10 minutes at each watering station. The city appreciates the efforts that our residents have made to conserve water and to continue to encourage diligent water use. Information on the drought, conservation tips, and incentive programs can be found at GlendaleWaterandPower.com. Since most Californians use more than 50% of their monthly water for outdoor use, one of the best ways to reduce water consumption is by changing to California-friendly, drought-tolerant landscaping. GWP offers an excellent online resource of information and examples at GlendaleWaterWiseGardening.com. This site features garden photo tours, information of different types of plants, and extensive information on designing, installing, and maintaining a water-wise garden. And as you find plants that you like, you can add them to a list, which can be printed out and taken to a nursery. A good example of drought-tolerant landscaping can be found at the recently completed Maryland Avenue Park. Here is project manager Peter Verheilig to tell you more.
Drought-tolerant landscaping means plants that can survive and actually thrive in our Mediterranean climate here. There are many plants that we are used to planting, like tropical plants, that need a lot of water and actually don't do well with the high heat we have in the summer and the cold winters that we can have. Well, right now we're in Maryland Avenue Park. This is the City of Glendale's newest park. It is important for the city because it uses a lot of environmentally friendly strategies to lower its impact to the rest of the environment. It uses drought-tolerant landscaping, permeable surfaces so the rainwater soaks back into the ground, mulch to keep the ground from drying out, and there's a lot of recycled material used throughout the site as well.
Lisa Hartke is one of many Glendale residents who have already adopted drought-tolerant landscape.
The particular summer it was very hot, and I just was thinking about how much water it would take to keep it green. So then I decided that it would be a good idea to replace it with a drought-tolerant landscape. It's just an enjoyable facet to have. It's much more interesting than a lawn.
Well, a lot of people have a misconception that drought-tolerant landscaping or xeriscaping comprises only of using cactus, which isn't true. There are drought-tolerant plants that come from Mediterranean regions throughout the world. And all these plants are adapted to the same climate that we have. And so there's a wide variety of plants that we can use without sacrificing color and interest in our gardens.
And it's also bird and bee friendly. Butterflies, hummingbirds love the bottle brush and all the Australian plants. I just enjoy watching them visit.
This plant here is Cleveland sage, and as you can see, it's blooming right now in August. It started blooming back in probably April. It's one of the plants that blooms all summer long. Here in our residential landscapes, we can still water them during the summer, and they'll look pretty good. This olive is a great example of how drought-tolerant landscapes don't have to be hot and dry. But when this olive is full grown, it'll probably be around 30 feet wide and just as high. And it'll provide a great deal of shade for this park. You can imagine a beautiful picnic table underneath here, having lunch with your family. There are many, many drought-tolerant trees that will provide lots of shade for your yard. This is a forest pansy redbud tree. It's a variety that was derived from the native redbud tree. And this one is special because when the leaves first come out, they come out a deep, dark purple. They mature to a green like this. In the fall, these leaves will turn bright, clear yellow and bring a lot of color to your yard.
It's pretty much maintenance-free. You don't have to mow it, and it pretty much takes care of itself. We have had people stop by the garden and ask about it.
I myself have removed about half of my front lawn, and it's actually encouraged my neighbors. They come over and it's almost like they're shopping. They look at the plants I've chosen, and before I know it, I see those plants springing up in my neighbors' yards. So you can do a little piece at a time, and with a little planning, you can have your whole yard become drought tolerant.
To learn more about water conservation tips, turf replacement incentives, and water-wise gardening, visit GlendaleWaterandPower.com.